Have you ever wondered why some people seem to effortlessly achieve their goals, while others struggle to make progress, no matter how hard they try? The secret often lies in the habits they've developed. Success isn't about rare moments of brilliance or one-time efforts. It's about the small, consistent actions you take every day that add up to big results over time. But here's the catch. Forming the right habits can be challenging. It's easy to start, but hard to sustain. So, how do you build habits that actually stick and lead you to success? In Success Formula, Strengthen Your Future Through Habits, we'll explore the power of habits and how they can shape your future. Through practical strategies, inspiring stories, and actionable exercises, this book will guide you step by step toward mastering habits that will empower you to reach your fullest potential. Whether you're looking to improve your career, health, or personal growth, the journey starts here. Let's get started. Chapter 1: Laying the Foundation. The Power of Intentional Habits. How do you build a successful life? Is it through massive, life-changing moments or through small, consistent actions? If you're like most people, you might think success is about making a big splash, about a single breakthrough or an extraordinary achievement. But in reality, success is built quietly, over time, through habits. This chapter will lay the foundation for understanding how intentional habits can shape your future and how you can start building the right ones today. At the heart of any successful journey is the ability to develop habits that align with your goals. Habits are the invisible forces that guide your actions every day. They shape your thoughts, behaviors, and ultimately your outcomes. Think about it. The person who wakes up early every day to exercise doesn't just wake up early by chance. They've built that habit over time. Similarly, the successful entrepreneur who thrives under pressure didn't get there overnight. They've developed habits of focus, resilience, and time management that support their achievements. What separates successful people from the rest is the intentionality behind their habits. Habits are not just things we do mindlessly. They are choices, deliberate actions that, when repeated, turn into routines that shape our lives. The truth is that every action you take, no matter how small, is a building block of your future. If you want to create a future that reflects your best self, you need to be intentional about the habits you cultivate. Take a moment and think about your own habits. What are the things you do every day without thinking about them? Maybe you check your phone first thing in the morning, grab a cup of coffee, and then dive into work. Or perhaps you have a routine of reading before bed, which helps you unwind and grow intellectually. These daily actions, whether productive or not, are the habits that make up your life. Some of them may be helping you move closer to your goals, while others might be holding you back. The power of intentional habits is not about doing everything perfectly, but about making sure the habits you cultivate are aligned with your goals. Let's explore the concept of intentional habits in more detail. The science behind habit formation. To understand how to create intentional habits, it's helpful to look at the science behind how habits form. When you repeat an action, your brain begins to associate it with a sense of reward. This process is known as neuroplasticity, which means that the brain is capable of forming new neural connections through repetition. Over time, the behavior becomes automatic because your brain recognizes the action as something that serves you in some way. For example, consider someone who wants to get in shape. At first, they may struggle to get out of bed and put on their workout clothes, but as they continue to exercise regularly, their brain starts associating the act of exercising with positive feelings, whether it's a sense of accomplishment, improved energy levels, or even the physical rewards of better health. Eventually, the act of exercising becomes easier, even automatic, because their brain has formed a connection between the habit and the reward. The key to creating intentional habits is understanding this process. Instead of relying on motivation alone, which can be fleeting, you can focus on creating the environment and conditions that support the formation of good habits. By doing so, you'll be reinforcing positive behaviors that help you reach your goals. Real-life examples of intentional habits. Let's look at some real-life examples to better illustrate the power of intentional habits. Consider a writer who is working on a book. Every day, this writer may set aside a specific time to write, whether it's an hour in the morning or a few hours in the evening. The writer doesn't wait for inspiration to strike. They've developed the habit of writing regularly. Over time, this habit allows them to build momentum, develop their craft, and eventually finish their book. The key here is consistency. Writing every day might not feel like a huge achievement in the moment, but over time, these small efforts compound into a finished manuscript. Now, think about a professional athlete. Every day, they practice specific drills to improve their skills, whether it's shooting hoops, kicking a soccer ball, or swimming laps. These actions are not performed because they're easy. They are performed because the athlete knows that success doesn't come from occasional effort, but from consistent, intentional practice. The habit of practicing daily becomes ingrained, leading the athlete to peak performance over time. Both the writer and the athlete demonstrate the power of intentional habits. It's not about doing something once or twice. It's about making that action a consistent part of your routine, regardless of how you feel on a given day. Success, in both creative and athletic pursuits, is built through small, intentional steps taken consistently. Shaping your own intentional habits. Now that you understand the importance of intentional habits, it's time to think about how you can apply this concept in your own life. What are the areas where you'd like to see improvement? Maybe it's in your career, your health, or your personal relationships. Whatever your goals are, the first step is identifying the habits that will help you get there. Start by asking yourself a few questions. What habits do I already have that are helping me move toward my goals? What habits do I have that are holding me back? What new habits would help me make progress in the areas I care about? For example, if you want to get healthier, a habit like exercising every morning or choosing healthier food options might be a good place to start. If you want to advance in your career, a habit of dedicating time each day to skill building or networking could make a big difference. The key is to start small and focus on consistency. Habits don't need to be big, overwhelming changes. They can start as small actions, but over time, they'll create lasting transformation. A practical exercise, building your first intentional habit. Now that you understand the power of intentional habits, let's put this knowledge into action. Here's a simple exercise to help you start building your first intentional habit. Choose one habit to start. Think about one small habit that will bring you closer to your goals. Make sure it's something simple and achievable, something that you can easily do every day. Set a clear, measurable goal. Instead of saying, I want to get healthier, set a specific goal like, I will walk 15 minutes every morning for the next week. This makes the habit measurable and easier to track. Create an action plan. Decide when and where you will perform your new habit. Make it easy to start. If you're committing to walking every morning, lay out your shoes the night before, so it's ready to go when you wake up. Track your progress. Keep a journal or a simple checklist where you can mark off each day you successfully complete your habit. This will help reinforce your commitment and give you a sense of accomplishment. Reflect. At the end of each week, take a few minutes to reflect on your progress. How does the new habit make you feel? Do you notice any changes, even if they're small? Reflective question. As you think about the habits you want to create, ask yourself, what small, consistent actions can I take today that will shape my future success? Remember, the power of your future lies in the daily choices you make today. Start small, stay consistent, and watch how your intentional habits shape the life you desire. By laying the foundation of intentional habits, you're setting yourself up for long-term success. Keep in mind that this is just the beginning. As we move through the rest of this book, you'll continue to build on this foundation, learning how to strengthen your habits and make them work for you. Chapter 2. Mastering Mindset: How Your Thoughts Shape Your Success. Have you ever noticed how some people can face the same challenges you do, but seem to handle them with ease, while you might feel overwhelmed? It's not because they're necessarily more talented or capable, it's because they have mastered something crucial: their mindset. In this chapter, we'll dive into how the thoughts you hold and the beliefs you nurture can directly shape your habits and ultimately your success. Your mindset is the lens through which you view the world. It's the inner voice that tells you whether you're capable of achieving your goals or whether you're destined to fail. If you've ever thought, "I'm not good enough," or "I can't do this," then you've experienced the negative effects of a limiting mindset. But just as easily, you can flip the switch to a growth mindset, one that believes that you are capable of learning, growing, and improving with each step. The concept of mindset is incredibly powerful because it influences every decision, every action, and every habit you form. If your mindset is one of limitation, your habits will follow suit, reinforcing the belief that you're not good enough to achieve your dreams. But if you shift your mindset to one of possibility, you'll begin to form habits that align with your aspirations, driving you toward success. Take, for example, two people trying to get in shape. The first person has a fixed mindset. They believe that their ability to get fit is limited by their current fitness level. They see exercise as something difficult and unpleasant, and when they face setbacks, they tell themselves, "I'll never be able to do this. I'm just not built for this kind of thing." As a result, they may quit after a few attempts, reinforcing their belief that they can't succeed. The second person has a growth mindset. They believe that fitness is something that can be developed over time. They approach exercise with curiosity, viewing challenges as opportunities to learn and improve. When they encounter setbacks, they don't see them as failures but as learning moments. "I'll keep going," they think. "I just need to adjust my approach or give it more time." Over time, this mindset allows them to build the habits necessary to achieve their fitness goals. The difference between these two people isn't physical ability, it's their mindset. One is trapped in a cycle of self-doubt, while the other embraces challenges as opportunities. Mindset doesn't just change how you think, it changes how you act, and more importantly, how you form your habits. One of the most important things to recognize is that mindset is not fixed. It's not something you're born with, nor is it something that stays the same throughout your life. You can cultivate and change your mindset at any time. This realization is incredibly empowering because it means you have the ability to shape your thoughts and beliefs, and by extension, your actions. Research by psychologist Carol Dweck has shown that people with a growth mindset, those who believe that abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work, are more likely to persist in the face of challenges, learn from criticism, and ultimately achieve their goals. On the other hand, those with a fixed mindset, those who believe their abilities are static, tend to give up when faced with difficulty. This insight is crucial because it means that by adopting a growth mindset, you can increase your chances of success, not just in one area, but across the board in your life. So how can you begin to master your mindset and use it to develop success-oriented habits? The first step is awareness. Pay attention to the thoughts you have throughout your day. When faced with a challenge, do you think, "I can't do this," or "this is too hard"? Or do you think, "I'm going to figure this out," or "this is an opportunity to grow"? These thoughts matter more than you might realize. They influence your emotions, your actions, and your outcomes. The next step is practice. A growth mindset isn't something that comes naturally for everyone, especially if you've spent years reinforcing a fixed mindset. But with intentional practice, you can start to shift your thinking. When you catch yourself having a limiting thought, pause and challenge it. Ask yourself, is this true? Is this thought serving me? What would be a more empowering way to view this situation? Over time, as you begin to replace limiting thoughts with more empowering ones, you'll notice a shift in your actions and ultimately your habits. Here's a simple exercise to help you start changing your mindset today. Take a moment to reflect on a goal you've been struggling with. It could be anything: starting a new exercise routine, learning a new skill, or achieving a professional milestone. Now, write down any thoughts that come to mind when you think about this goal. Do you feel excitement or dread? Do you believe you can succeed? Or do you have doubts? Once you've written down your thoughts, look at them critically. Are these thoughts helpful? Are they coming from a place of growth and possibility, or from fear and limitation? If you notice any limiting beliefs, challenge them. Replace them with empowering thoughts. For example, instead of thinking, "I can't do this," try thinking, "I may not know how to do this yet, but I can figure it out. Another key way to shift your mindset is to surround yourself with people who have a growth mindset. It's much easier to adopt a positive, empowering mindset when you're around others who believe in possibility and growth. Seek out people who inspire you, who face challenges with a sense of optimism, and who believe in their ability to improve. Their energy and outlook will help lift your own mindset, and together, you'll create an environment that supports your success. As you continue on your journey to mastering your mindset, remember this. Your thoughts are powerful, but they are not permanent. Just as you can change a habit, you can change your mindset. And by doing so, you'll open the door to success in all areas of your life. Reflection exercise. Take a moment to identify one area in your life where you feel stuck. What are the thoughts you have around this challenge? Are they helping or hindering your progress? Write them down, and then ask yourself, what would it look like if I approached this situation with a growth mindset? What actions could I take today that reflect the belief that I can improve, learn, and succeed? Write down your answers and use this as a starting point for shifting your mindset and moving forward. Chapter 3. Building Consistency. The key to habit formation. Have you ever set a goal and started strong, only to find your motivation fading after a few days or weeks? You're not alone. This is something almost everyone experiences, and it's often what keeps us from seeing the results we want. We have great intentions at the start, but somewhere along the way, consistency becomes the biggest challenge. In this chapter, we'll explore how to build consistency, the cornerstone of lasting habits, and why it's the key to turning small actions into big results. The importance of consistency cannot be overstated. Consistency is what transforms an occasional effort into a lifestyle. It's what turns a new habit from an initial burst of enthusiasm into a long-term, sustainable practice. If you want to be successful, you must learn how to show up day after day, even when you don't feel like it. But building consistency isn't about being perfect. It's about doing something, even if it's small, every day. The secret to success lies in your ability to stay consistent, even when the results aren't immediately visible. Think about a simple example, like learning to play a musical instrument. Imagine you're just starting out and you practice for an hour one day. The next day, you feel tired and don't practice at all. The third day, you feel discouraged because you haven't made much progress. If you let these moments of doubt stop you, you'll never improve. However, if you commit to practicing for just 15 minutes a day, no matter how small the effort, you'll see gradual improvement over time. It's the daily, consistent effort that leads to mastery. Consistency works the same way in every area of life. If you want to get fit, you don't need to spend hours at the gym every day. A brief daily workout, whether it's a 10-minute walk or a short yoga session, can make all the difference. The key is doing something every day that moves you toward your goal. This creates a rhythm and momentum that becomes easier to maintain over time. Each small action compounded over time leads to significant progress. Another example is the way we manage our finances. If you want to save money but only deposit into your savings account once a month, your progress will be slow. But if you set up an automatic transfer every week, even if it's a small amount, you'll see your savings grow steadily without much effort. It's not about making large, infrequent efforts. It's about consistently showing up and taking small steps toward your goal. The truth is, consistency is often more important than intensity. While it may feel tempting to go all in at first, it's much more effective to start small and stay consistent. Trying to do too much at once can lead to burnout, while small, consistent efforts build habits that stick. As you continue to show up, even when the results aren't immediately obvious, you'll find that the effort compounds and the benefits become more noticeable over time. This process also ties into something known as the compound effect, where small, consistent actions lead to larger, exponential results. Just like how small, daily deposits into a savings account grow over time, your consistent habits can snowball into life-changing achievements. The key is to start and then keep going. You don't need to be perfect, and you don't need to see immediate results. What matters is that you commit to the process and trust that the results will come. One of the most powerful tools for building consistency is creating a routine. By establishing a specific time and place for your habit, you make it easier to stay on track. For example, if you want to read more books, make it a point to read for 10 minutes every morning with your cup of coffee. The more you can integrate your new habits into your daily routine, the less effort it will take to stay consistent. Over time, the habit becomes automatic, no longer requiring as much thought or energy. Another important aspect of building consistency is being flexible with yourself. Life happens, and there will be days when you fall short of your goals. The key is not to let one missed day derail your entire progress. If you miss a workout, for example, don't use it as an excuse to skip the next one. Instead, simply get back on track as soon as possible. Remember that consistency isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. Think about the journey of a writer, for example. Many writers set a goal to write a certain number of words every day. If they miss a day, they don't give up. They simply pick up where they left off the next day. This consistent effort, even when it feels like it's not leading to immediate success, adds up over time, and eventually that writer has a completed manuscript. The key isn't writing for hours at a time. It's writing consistently, even if only for a few minutes each day. Building consistency requires patience and a long-term perspective. In the beginning, the changes might feel small and insignificant, but over time, these small actions add up, and you'll begin to notice real, lasting progress. The most important thing is to stay committed, even on the days when motivation is low. Consistency is less about finding the perfect moment to act, and more about simply showing up and doing the work. To put this into practice, ask yourself, what is one small habit I can commit to doing every day, no matter how busy I am? Start with something simple, like drinking a glass of water as soon as you wake up, or taking a 5-minute walk after lunch. The goal isn't to do something perfect, but to create the rhythm of consistency. Once you've established that habit, you'll find it easier to build on it and take the next step toward bigger goals. As you move forward, remember that success isn't about the occasional effort. It's about showing up day after day, no matter how small the step. It's the quiet, consistent actions that lead to real, sustainable change. Keep going and trust that your efforts will pay off. Chapter 4: Small Changes, Big Impact. Leveraging the compound effect. Have you ever heard the saying, "It's the little things that make the big difference"? While it might sound cliché, it holds a deep truth when it comes to personal growth and habit formation. Often, we think that in order to make significant changes in our lives, we need to take dramatic action. However, lasting success isn't built on major leaps. It's built on small, consistent actions that compound over time. This chapter will explore how the compound effect works and why small, consistent changes are often more powerful than we realize. The compound effect is the principle of reaping huge rewards from a series of small, smart choices. It's the idea that the results of your actions don't appear all at once, but grow exponentially over time. It's like putting a small amount of money in the bank and letting the interest build. The more consistently you save, the bigger your return over the years. Similarly, the more consistently you build positive habits, the greater the impact they'll have on your life. Take a moment and think about the power of small changes. Imagine you decided to read just 10 pages of a book every day. It might not seem like much at first, but after a week, you've read 70 pages. In a month, you've read over 300 pages, and in a year, that's a full book or more. What if those 10 pages were the key to a new skill or a personal development book that could change your life? What if this simple habit added up to thousands of pages of wisdom over time? Similarly, think about fitness. If you commit to a 10-minute workout each day, it may seem insignificant at first, especially compared to the gymgoer who spends an hour each day lifting weights. But by the end of the month, you've done 300 minutes of exercise. After 6 months, that's 1,800 minutes, or 30 hours. It doesn't take a huge commitment to see noticeable progress. It's the consistency that drives results. The beauty of the compound effect is that it works both ways, both for positive habits and negative ones. Just as small, consistent actions can lead to massive positive change, small negative habits can accumulate and lead to undesirable outcomes. For example, if you eat an extra 100 calories a day, you might not notice the immediate impact. However, over the course of a year, that small daily indulgence can add up to 36,500 extra calories. This can translate into unwanted weight gain, even though it seemed insignificant at first. The key to harnessing the power of the compound effect is recognizing that every small action you take matters. You don't need to make drastic changes all at once. Instead, focus on the small habits you can control and improve over time. These seemingly insignificant actions can create a powerful momentum that will propel you toward your goals. Take the example of Warren Buffett, one of the world's most successful investors. He is known for his long-term approach to investing, which relies on small, steady decisions that compound over decades. He doesn't make huge, dramatic moves on the stock market. Instead, he chooses stable, well-established companies and holds on to them for the long term. His success is a direct result of the compound effect, small decisions made consistently over time, leading to extraordinary outcomes. But how can you apply this principle to your own life? It starts with recognizing that you don't need to overhaul everything at once. You don't need to set massive, overwhelming goals. Instead, focus on making small, sustainable changes that you can maintain consistently. These small changes will build up and snowball into bigger transformations than you could have imagined. One of the best ways to leverage the compound effect is by setting micro habits, tiny, manageable actions that require minimal effort but create a ripple effect of positive change. For example, instead of committing to a rigid hour-long workout routine right away, start with something simple, like taking a 10-minute walk after lunch. Instead of deciding to meditate for 30 minutes a day, start by practicing mindfulness for just 3 minutes. These micro habits are easy to start, and once they become ingrained in your daily routine, they'll naturally expand into bigger habits. Another example comes from the world of personal finance. Many successful people attribute their wealth to a simple habit, saving a small percentage of their income every month. For some, it's just 5%. Over time, that modest savings rate compounds with interest and investments, growing into significant wealth. It's not about making a huge sacrifice or earning a fortune right away. It's about making consistent, small deposits into your future. The compound effect is also incredibly powerful when it comes to learning and personal growth. If you want to become an expert in a field, you don't need to dedicate hours of study every day. What matters is that you commit to learning just a little bit every day. Whether it's reading a few pages, watching an educational video, or practicing a skill for 10 minutes, these small actions will accumulate over time and significantly improve your knowledge and expertise. By focusing on small changes and letting the compound effect work in your favor, you'll create a life full of consistent progress. You'll avoid the frustration of trying to make huge changes all at once, and instead, you'll develop a steady, manageable pace that will keep you moving forward. So, how do you begin to leverage the compound effect in your life? Start by identifying one area where small, consistent changes could lead to big results. Maybe it's your physical health, your finances, or your personal development. Choose something you can start today, something that feels small but doable. The key is to make that first step and then show up consistently. Reflect on this question. What is one small habit you could implement today that over time would have a huge impact on your life? Write it down and commit to making it a daily part of your routine. Over time, you'll be amazed at how these small actions build up to create a powerful, positive change in your life. Remember, the journey to success doesn't happen all at once. It happens in small, consistent steps. Keep moving forward, no matter how small the steps may seem, and let the compound effect do its work. Chapter 5. Overcoming Obstacles. Navigating Setbacks in Your Journey. Have you ever encountered an obstacle that made you question whether reaching your goal was even possible? It might have been a setback, a mistake, or a failure that temporarily knocked you off course. The truth is, every journey toward success will have its challenges. But the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is how they respond to those obstacles. In this chapter, we'll explore how to navigate setbacks, build resilience, and turn challenges into opportunities for growth. Obstacles are an inevitable part of any journey. Whether you're trying to develop a new habit, pursue a personal goal, or achieve something important in your life, you will face moments of doubt, frustration, and resistance. It's easy to get discouraged when things don't go as planned. The key, however, is to understand that setbacks are not failures. They are simply part of the process. They are opportunities to learn, adapt, and grow stronger. Let's consider the example of an athlete training for a marathon. In the beginning, they're full of energy, and everything seems to be going according to plan. But then, perhaps they experience an injury, or the weather turns against them. They could throw in the towel and give up, thinking the goal is no longer achievable. But the athletes who succeed are the ones who don't give up at the first sign of trouble. They find ways to adjust. Maybe they cross-train instead of running, or take a few days to rest and recover before getting back on track. Their resilience in the face of setbacks becomes the driving force that propels them forward. Similarly, think about the entrepreneur who faces rejection after rejection from investors. At first, it can feel like a crushing blow to their self-confidence. Yet the most successful entrepreneurs are the ones who treat each no as one step closer to a yes. They learn from each rejection, fine-tune their pitch, and keep pushing forward. They know that obstacles are just temporary detours, not roadblocks to their success. When you encounter setbacks in your own life, it's crucial to reframe your thinking. Instead of seeing obstacles as signs that you're not cut out for success, look at them as opportunities to improve your approach. Every setback gives you valuable information about what's working and what's not. Whether it's a setback in a fitness goal, a project at work, or a personal habit you're trying to build, there's always something to be learned from the experience. Maybe you're pushing yourself too hard, or perhaps you need to reassess your strategy. The key is to keep moving forward, even if it means making small adjustments along the way. One example of overcoming obstacles comes from the story of Thomas Edison, who faced countless failures before inventing the light bulb. When asked about his repeated failures, Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His resilience, determination, and ability to learn from every obstacle ultimately led to his groundbreaking success. This mindset of embracing failure as part of the journey is what separates those who persist from those who give up too soon. In your own life, when you encounter a setback, try to ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? Instead of letting frustration take over, focus on the lessons that can be gleaned from the challenge. What can you adjust? What do you need to rethink or rework? Embrace the obstacle as an opportunity to evolve and become better at what you're doing. Here's a practical exercise to help you navigate setbacks in a more positive, growth-oriented way. Think back to a time when you encountered an obstacle while working toward a goal. It could be anything, whether it was a personal challenge, a missed deadline, or a failed attempt at building a habit. Write down what happened, how you felt at the time, and how you responded to the situation. Now, revisit the experience with a different perspective. Instead of focusing on the disappointment, identify at least 3 lessons you learned from that obstacle. How did it help you grow? What would you do differently if faced with a similar situation in the future? By taking this approach, you can begin to shift your mindset from one of defeat to one of resilience. Every setback is an opportunity for growth, and with each challenge you face, you get stronger and more capable. Success isn't about avoiding obstacles, it's about how you handle them when they arise. With the right mindset and strategies, you can turn setbacks into stepping stones on your path to achieving your goals. So the next time you encounter an obstacle, remember that it's not the setback that defines you, it's your response to it. Stay focused, learn from the experience, and keep moving forward. Success is not a straight path. It's a journey filled with twists and turns, and overcoming obstacles is what will ultimately make you stronger and more successful in the long run. Reflect on the challenges you've faced so far. What obstacles have you encountered on your journey? How did you respond, and what did you learn from those experiences? Write down 1 or 2 strategies you can implement when faced with a similar setback in the future. How will you use these strategies to keep moving forward on your path? Chapter 6. Reinforcing Progress. Tracking and celebrating milestones. When you're working toward a big goal, it can sometimes feel like the finish line is miles away. Progress can seem slow and the journey long. This is where tracking and celebrating your milestones become crucial. In this chapter, we'll explore the power of recognizing the small wins along the way and how celebrating those moments can keep you motivated, focused, and energized on your path to success. It's easy to become discouraged when you focus only on the end result. After all, your ultimate goal might seem far off, and the road to get there can feel overwhelming. But success isn't a single moment. It's the culmination of many small, intentional actions. If you only look at the finish line, you risk missing the countless smaller victories that are happening every day. These small wins, though seemingly insignificant in the moment, are the building blocks of your larger success. The key to staying motivated and on track is to recognize them as you go and celebrate your progress along the way. Take the example of someone who's working to lose weight. The number on the scale might not change drastically overnight, but they might notice that their energy levels are higher or that their clothes fit a bit better. These are wins worth celebrating. By tracking progress in more ways than just the scale, they can celebrate these small victories, giving themselves the motivation to keep going. The same goes for someone learning a new skill or trying to form a new habit. When you pause to recognize your progress, whether it's mastering a new technique or sticking with your routine for a week, those small victories become the fuel that powers you through the more challenging moments. Tracking your progress doesn't just help you celebrate what you've achieved, it also allows you to see where you've improved. It provides feedback that shows you what's working and what needs to be adjusted. For instance, if you're trying to save money and set a monthly budget, tracking how much you've saved compared to your target can help you stay accountable and make tweaks as needed. If you're practicing a new language, keeping track of new vocabulary words learned or hours spent practicing can give you a sense of accomplishment and show how far you've come. One of the best ways to reinforce progress is through visual reminders. Whether you're keeping a journal, using a habit tracker, or simply marking off days on a calendar, seeing the progress you've made can be incredibly motivating. Visual trackers give you something tangible to reflect on, providing a sense of achievement that encourages you to keep moving forward. Each time you look at your tracker, it's a reminder of how much you've accomplished, even if the big goal still feels distant. Let's also consider the example of a writer working toward completing a book. Writing a book can feel like a monumental task, and the thought of writing hundreds of pages can be intimidating. But when you break the task down into smaller, manageable chunks, such as writing a certain number of words each day or completing a chapter each week, the journey becomes less overwhelming. By tracking daily or weekly word counts, the writer can see the steady progress they're making. Each time they reach a milestone, whether it's finishing a chapter or hitting their word count for the week, they can celebrate that small win, knowing it brings them closer to their larger goal. This idea of celebrating milestones is not just about feeling good in the moment, it's about reinforcing positive behavior. When you acknowledge your progress, you're telling yourself, I'm capable, I'm moving forward, and I'm getting closer to my goal. This affirmation strengthens your belief in yourself and motivates you to continue. It's also a reminder that success is a series of steps, not just a single moment of achievement. It's the process that matters just as much as the result. Now that we've explored the importance of tracking and celebrating milestones, think about your own journey. What are some small wins you can celebrate right now? Maybe you've stuck to a new habit for a week, or perhaps you've overcome a challenge that once felt insurmountable. Whatever it is, take a moment to acknowledge it. Reflect on how far you've come and give yourself credit for the progress you've made. Celebrating these wins, no matter how small, will keep your motivation high and your focus sharp. Remember, every step forward is a step closer to your ultimate success. Exercise. Take out a piece of paper or open a digital document and create a simple progress tracker. This could be as simple as marking off days on a calendar or writing down small accomplishments each day or week. Set a goal for the next month to track at least one small win each day, whether it's staying on track with a habit, learning something new, or completing a task. At the end of the month, reflect on how many small wins you've accumulated and how they've contributed to your larger goal. How does it feel to look back at your progress? How can you use this exercise to keep your momentum going as you move forward? Chapter 7. Elevating your environment. Creating habits that stick. Imagine for a moment that you're trying to get into the habit of exercising more. You set your alarm early in the morning, lace up your sneakers, and head out for your jog. But there's a problem. Your neighborhood is full of distractions. Cars zooming by, loud conversations from neighbors, and tempting cafes that draw your attention. The environment around you doesn't support your goal. In fact, it makes it harder for you to stay focused and committed. This is where the concept of environment design comes into play. In this chapter, we'll explore how to intentionally shape your surroundings to support your habits and create an environment that makes success easier. Your environment is one of the most powerful influences on your behavior. It can either encourage the habits you want to build or make it harder for you to stay on track. The people you interact with, the spaces you occupy, the tools you have on hand, all of these factors play a role in shaping your daily actions. By deliberately curating an environment that aligns with your goals, you can significantly improve your ability to form lasting habits. Consider a person who's trying to eat healthier. One way they can set themselves up for success is by stocking their kitchen with healthy snacks, preparing meals in advance, and removing junk food from sight. The easier it is for them to access nutritious food, the more likely they are to make better choices throughout the day. On the other hand, if they leave bags of chips or sugary snacks on the counter, the temptation to indulge becomes much stronger, and their chances of sticking to their healthy eating goals decrease. The environment you create doesn't just refer to physical spaces. It also includes social and digital environments. Think about the people you spend time with and the influence they have on your habits. If your friends and family encourage healthy choices, it's easier to stay committed to your goals. If, however, they regularly tempt you to eat unhealthy food or skip your workouts, it can be much harder to maintain your discipline. The same goes for your digital environment. If you want to develop a habit of reading more but spend most of your time scrolling through social media, it will be difficult to focus on books. On the other hand, if you remove distractions and surround yourself with books or audiobooks, you'll be more likely to make reading a regular part of your routine. Take the example of someone trying to build a writing habit. If they want to write every day but their desk is cluttered with unrelated papers, personal items, and distractions, they'll likely struggle to focus. However, if they set up a clean, quiet space with only the essentials for writing, like their computer, notebook, and a comfortable chair, the task becomes easier. When your environment is supportive, you don't have to rely as much on willpower to get started. The environment essentially pulls you toward your goal, making it easier to follow through. Creating an environment that supports your goals also means making your desired habits the default option. For instance, if you're trying to drink more water, make sure you always have a water bottle within arm's reach, on your desk, in the car, by your bedside. This way, drinking water becomes the easiest and most convenient choice. If you want to improve your productivity, keep your workspace organized, remove distractions, and place tools like a to-do list or calendar where they're easily accessible. Your environment should be set up in a way that encourages you to do what you want to do without requiring excessive effort. Designing your environment is not a one-time task. It's an ongoing process. It requires regular reflection on what's working, what's not, and what changes you can make to better support your goals. It's about creating a space, both physical and mental, that makes your desired habits as easy as possible to maintain. Take the case of someone working to quit smoking. If they're constantly around people who smoke, or if they keep cigarettes within reach, it becomes much harder to break the habit. However, if they remove the cigarettes from their home, avoid places where smoking is common, and replace smoking with healthier activities, like taking a walk or chewing gum, they'll have a much better chance of success. The environment has been intentionally adjusted to support their goal of quitting smoking. Similarly, if your goal is to read more books, make reading a natural part of your day by placing books in visible areas. Put a book on your bedside table, on your desk, or next to your favorite chair. Create a ritual around reading, perhaps spending 10 minutes with a book every morning or evening. When reading becomes embedded into your environment, you'll be more likely to pick up that book and read, even if you only have a few minutes to spare. Creating a habit-friendly environment doesn't require you to completely overhaul your life. Small, simple changes to your surroundings can make a significant impact on your ability to build and maintain new habits. Whether it's creating a workspace free of distractions, putting your workout clothes where you can see them, or removing obstacles that hinder your success, environment design is a powerful tool that makes habit formation easier and more natural. Now, let's put this into practice. Think about one habit you want to build in your life. Whether it's exercising more, eating healthier, or learning a new skill, consider how you can redesign your environment to make this habit easier to develop. Are there distractions or obstacles that you need to remove? What positive changes can you make to your physical or social surroundings to support this habit? Reflect on the ways in which your environment can either help or hinder your progress. Then, choose one small change to make today that will align your surroundings with your goal. This could be something as simple as setting up a designated space for your new habit or finding ways to eliminate distractions. Remember, the more your environment works for you, the easier it will be to stick with your new habit and make it a lasting part of your life. Chapter 8. Aligning your actions. How to ensure habits match your goals. Have you ever set a goal and found yourself working hard toward it, only to realize that your daily actions were taking you in the wrong direction? You might have been doing a lot of things, but those things weren't aligned with what you actually wanted to achieve. In this chapter, we'll discuss how to ensure that your actions and habits are in alignment with your bigger goals. By doing so, you will create a clear path to success and avoid the frustration of spinning your wheels without making meaningful progress. One of the most common reasons people struggle to achieve their goals is that their actions don't match their intentions. You may have a clear vision of what you want. Perhaps you want to lose weight, advance in your career, or develop a new skill. But if your daily habits and behaviors don't align with these goals, it's easy to feel stuck or discouraged. The key to overcoming this challenge is alignment, making sure that your daily actions support your long-term objectives. Consider the example of someone who wants to improve their fitness. They may say, "I want to get healthier," but then consistently skip their workouts, eat fast food, and sit for hours at a desk. Even though their intention is to improve their health, their actions don't align with that goal. In contrast, someone who aligns their actions with their goal might plan out a workout schedule, make healthier food choices, and find ways to move throughout the day, such as taking walks or using a standing desk. The difference lies in their ability to consistently match their habits with their desired outcome. Similarly, if your goal is to write a book, but you spend most of your time scrolling through social media or watching TV, your actions are clearly not aligned with your vision. On the other hand, if you commit to writing for 30 minutes every day, or set aside specific time blocks to work on your manuscript, your actions are directly contributing to your goal. Small, consistent actions are the building blocks that move you closer to the outcome you want to achieve. This concept of alignment also applies to personal development. If your goal is to develop confidence, but you continue to engage in negative self-talk or avoid challenging situations, your actions are misaligned with your desired result. To make progress, you might need to start practicing positive affirmations, take risks that push you out of your comfort zone, or even seek out mentors or role models who inspire confidence. Aligning your mindset and behaviors with your goal helps reinforce the belief that you can achieve what you've set out to do. One of the most powerful ways to ensure alignment is to review your habits regularly. Are your daily actions helping you make progress, or are they holding you back? It's easy to get stuck in old patterns or fall into distractions that derail your progress. By becoming more mindful of your routines and evaluating whether they align with your larger goals, you can make adjustments and course correct before it's too late. Think about the times when you've been successful in achieving something. What was different about those experiences? Likely, your actions were in sync with your goals. Whether it was saving money, completing a project at work, or making healthier choices, your habits were aligned with the desired outcome. When you've been less successful, you may have noticed that your actions were inconsistent with your goals. The more you can align your habits with what you truly want to achieve, the easier it will be to make lasting progress. Now, let's look at an exercise to help you align your actions with your goals. Start by reviewing your current habits and assessing how they are contributing to your larger objectives. Write down 1 or 2 goals you want to achieve, whether it's personal, professional, or health-related. Then, break down the key actions required to achieve these goals. For example, if your goal is to improve your fitness, your key actions might include eating more vegetables, exercising regularly, and getting enough sleep. Take a close look at how your current habits support or hinder these actions. Are there areas where your actions are misaligned? What changes can you make to bring your habits into better alignment with your goals? As you go through this process, ask yourself, are my daily actions truly moving me closer to my desired outcomes, or am I wasting time on things that don't matter? Take a few moments to reflect on any habits that may be misaligned and brainstorm ways to change them. This exercise will help you gain clarity about what actions are truly helping you progress and which ones need to be adjusted to better support your success. The alignment of your actions and goals is a powerful tool for success. It brings focus, reduces confusion, and helps you stay on track, even when challenges arise. By regularly reviewing your habits and making sure they match the vision you have for your future, you'll be better positioned to achieve what you set out to do. As you continue on your journey to success, remember that every small action counts. The more you align your habits with your goals, the clearer your path will become. By staying committed and adjusting as needed, you'll find yourself making steady, meaningful progress toward the life you want to create. So, take a moment now to reflect on your habits and goals. What small changes can you make today to better align your actions with your aspirations? Chapter 9. Developing Patience. Trusting the process and staying the course. Have you ever found yourself frustrated by slow progress, wondering if your efforts are truly making a difference? You've set your goals, made your plans, and are working hard, but the results seem to be taking forever. It's easy to feel disheartened when we don't see instant rewards, especially in a world that often values quick success. In this chapter, we'll explore the importance of developing patience and trusting the process. Learning how to stay the course, even when progress feels slow, is one of the most important skills you can develop on your journey to success. Patience is often misunderstood. It's not about doing nothing and waiting for things to happen. Patience, in the context of habit building and achieving goals, means allowing time for your efforts to compound and trusting that the small actions you take every day are adding up to something bigger. It's about resisting the urge to rush the process or give up too soon when results are not immediately visible. When you develop patience, you give yourself the space to grow and improve without the pressure of needing instant gratification. One of the best examples of this is the process of learning a new skill. Whether it's playing a musical instrument, learning a new language, or mastering a new job, the progress can feel slow, especially at the beginning. When you first start learning something, it's easy to get frustrated. You might practice every day and still feel like you haven't improved much. But here's the truth. Every small effort you make is building the foundation for future success, even if you can't see the results immediately. The key is consistency, not perfection. Let's say you're trying to learn a new language. At first, you might feel like you're not making much progress. You memorize new words, practice speaking, and review grammar, but you still struggle to hold a conversation. It's easy to get discouraged, but consider how much you've learned over time. If you stick with it, Eventually, you'll reach a point where everything starts to click, and suddenly you're speaking more confidently, understanding more of the language, and feeling the progress you've been working toward. But all of this takes time. And that's where patience comes in. You have to trust that the effort you're putting in now is building the momentum that will lead to mastery. Patience is also essential when you're trying to form new habits. When you're trying to create a new habit, like exercising regularly, it's easy to get frustrated if you don't see immediate results. You might work out for a week and still not notice a change in your body, which can be discouraging. However, if you stick with it, you'll eventually see improvements, both physically and mentally. The results of your efforts may take time to show up, but they are happening, even if you don't notice them right away. This is why patience is so important. It allows you to stay committed, even when the rewards aren't visible in the moment. Another example is financial growth. Imagine you're working on saving money or investing. The early stages can feel discouraging because the growth may seem small, or it might feel like your efforts aren't making much of a difference in the grand scheme of things. But with time, compound interest works in your favor, and those small contributions add up. Patience is what allows you to stay consistent, to trust that the progress you're making now will eventually lead to the results you want. The difficulty with developing patience often comes from the desire for immediate rewards. In today's fast-paced world, we are used to getting things quickly. We want instant results and can easily lose sight of the long-term payoff. But when it comes to building habits and achieving success, slow and steady really does win the race. When you stay patient and persistent, you are allowing the time and effort to work for you, and the results will come in due time. To develop patience, it's essential to focus on the process rather than the outcome. When you focus too much on the end result, you may overlook the value of the work you're putting in right now. Each small step you take is building towards something greater, and learning to appreciate the process itself is one of the most powerful ways to stay motivated. Trust that your actions are moving you in the right direction, even when the progress seems slow. Success doesn't happen overnight. It's the result of consistent, small actions over time. A great way to cultivate patience is by setting realistic expectations. Understand that building habits, learning new skills, or achieving big goals takes time. If you give yourself the freedom to progress at your own pace, without rushing, you will avoid the frustration of unrealistic expectations. Take the pressure off yourself to see results right away, and instead, focus on showing up each day, doing the work, and letting time do its magic. Remember, success is the sum of the small, consistent actions you take over time. As you continue on your journey, ask yourself, how can I practice patience today? Reflect on areas of your life where you may be rushing or feeling frustrated by slow progress. Are you putting pressure on yourself to achieve something faster than you realistically can? Take a moment to reframe your perspective. Focus on the process, embrace the journey, and trust that your consistent efforts will eventually pay off. Let go of the need for immediate results and instead find satisfaction in knowing that every step you take is a step toward your success. By practicing patience, you will build the resilience needed to stay on course, no matter how long the road may seem. Patience isn't just about waiting, it's about trusting. Trust that your efforts are enough, trust that you're moving in the right direction, and trust that success is a gradual process. Every day you stay committed, you're one step closer to achieving your goals. Chapter 10. Staying Committed. The Power of Consistency and Long-Term Focus. Have you ever started something with excitement and energy, only to lose momentum as time went on? You might have set a goal or developed a habit, but over time, life's distractions, challenges, or simply a lack of motivation caused you to lose focus. Staying committed to your goals and maintaining long-term focus is one of the most important skills you can develop on your path to success. In this final chapter, we'll discuss how to stay committed, overcome obstacles, and keep your eyes on the bigger picture, no matter how difficult or uncertain the journey may seem. Commitment is often misunderstood as a simple matter of willpower. People often think that if you're truly committed to something, you'll never waver, never feel tired, and never face doubt. But commitment is actually a process. one that requires persistence, flexibility, and patience. It's about making a decision to keep going even when the initial excitement fades. It's about developing the resilience to continue taking action, even when it feels like progress is slow or setbacks occur. Commitment is the quiet, steady force that drives you forward, even when the path gets tough. One of the most important aspects of staying committed is learning to focus on the long-term benefits of your efforts, rather than getting discouraged by short-term challenges. Think about the example of someone saving money for a major life goal, like buying a house or starting a business. They may feel discouraged when they don't see much progress after a few months or years. But if they keep their focus on the end goal, whether it's the house, the business, or the financial freedom they're working toward, they will eventually see the results of their consistent efforts. In the beginning, it might feel like the goal is too far away to reach, but with steady progress, they will get closer and closer to their target. Similarly, when someone is training for a marathon, the idea of running 26 miles can seem daunting, especially when they're just starting out. But every time they go for a run, even if it's just a few miles, they're building stamina and conditioning their body for the long haul. As they train consistently, they become more resilient and prepared, and that commitment leads them to the finish line. Another powerful example comes from the story of Thomas Edison, the famous inventor. Edison faced numerous failures and setbacks on his way to inventing the light bulb. He made thousands of attempts, and many of his experiments failed. But he didn't give up. When someone asked him about his many failures, he famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Edison's commitment to his goal and his ability to stay focused on the bigger picture, despite countless failures, ultimately led to one of the most important inventions in history. His persistence in the face of adversity is a testament to the power of staying committed over the long term. Commitment, however, is not about rigidly sticking to a plan without flexibility. Life will always throw curveballs, and the ability to adapt to changes while staying focused on your goals is key. Flexibility in your approach doesn't mean abandoning your goal. It means being open to adjusting your methods to find what works best for you. If one way doesn't work, try another. If a setback occurs, don't see it as the end of the journey, but as an opportunity to learn and grow. The most successful people are those who remain committed to their long-term vision, but are flexible enough to adjust when necessary. As you work toward your goals, you will encounter times when your motivation wanes, or when life's challenges make it seem easier to give up than to keep going. It's during these moments that you must remind yourself of the bigger picture. The more you practice staying committed, the more natural it will become. Eventually, commitment will be a part of your mindset, and it will become easier to persevere through tough times. In conclusion, staying committed is about more than just willpower. It's about understanding that success is a journey, not a destination. The path to achieving your goals will require effort, patience, and resilience. But if you keep moving forward, stay focused on the long-term benefits, and adapt to the challenges that come your way, you will ultimately reach your destination. Practical exercise. Take a moment to reflect on a long-term goal you are currently working toward. Write down why this goal is important to you and the benefits you hope to achieve. Then identify any obstacles or challenges that have caused you to lose momentum in the past. Consider how you can stay committed to your goal, even when things get difficult. What small actions can you take today to recommit to your goal? How can you remind yourself of the bigger picture when setbacks arise? Keep these reflections in mind as you continue your journey and stay focused on your path. Conclusion. Congratulations on completing Success Formula. Strengthen your future through habits. Throughout this journey, we've explored how small, consistent actions can lead to lasting success. From developing the right mindset to navigating obstacles, creating supportive environments, and staying committed to your goals, you now have the tools to build habits that will shape your future. Remember, success isn't about quick fixes or overnight transformations. It's about daily progress, persistence, and the patience to trust the process. The path to your goals may not always be smooth, but with the strategies shared in this book, you're equipped to stay on track and keep moving forward. Thank you for taking the time to dive into this content. If you found value in these insights, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more helpful videos. Your journey to success starts now. Keep building those habits, and you'll see the rewards over time.